Welcome, boys and girls, to another week of math here at SEE. Make sure that you are completing each slide day by day. And if you have any questions, make sure you either comment on your assignment or you email me. Do not click turn in until all of this has been complete. If you want to finish early, you may do so before Friday. It'll give you enough time for me to give you some feedback. If you wait till the last minute, I won't be able to help fix some of the errors. So just make sure that you are watching this video and that you are completing this as best as you can. Our focus this week is going to be on representing data on frequency tables, dot plots, and stem and leaf plots. Now, in third grade, you did do frequency tables and dot plots, so that should look familiar. This year, we will be learning stem and leaf plots, and that is going to be a new concept. This is a fun video I have placed in here for you all. If you have not seen them, make sure that you watch them, as they are fun to watch. On this page, you will see the links to games for frequency tables and stem and leaf plots, dot plots. These will really help sharpen your skills and really help you master the skills that we are learning. Newsletters have very good informational videos that will also help you learn it, and we'll teach it to you as well. So make sure you are watching those, as those are really beneficial. Day 1. And this will be where our video will be. Now, today we're going to be starting on frequency tables. A frequency table displays data that shows how many times a response occurs in a set of data. Remember, we cross out at 5 tallies. Now, right here, we see bags of oranges. And we see this that says pounds, 3 and 7/8 pounds. So we need to see how many bags weigh 3 and 7/8 pounds. So they started to tally them up, and they found that 9 bags weighed 3 and 7/8 pounds. Now they had a few bags that weighed 4 pounds. In fact, they had 3 bags, and they've written the number down over here to make it easier to read. They counted how many bags weighed 4 and 1/8, and they found that 10 of them weighed 4 and 1/8 pounds. Then they found that there was a few of them that weighed 4 and 1/4, and in fact, three bags of oranges weighed 4 and 1/4 pounds. Now, if I wanted to know the total number of bags there were in all, and all would be our keyword, I would add up 9 plus 3 plus 10 plus 3, and that would tell us the total number of bags. But this just tells us how many bags weighed this amount. So, like I went before, 9 bags weighed 3 and 7/8 pounds, 3 bags weighed 4 pounds, 10 bags weighed 4 and 1/8, and 3 bags weighed 4 and 1/4. Here is another example of a frequency table that you might be able to see. And in here, they are describing length and the frequency of that length. So right here on this page, we see on the problem on the left that we can see that what the frequency table looks like. So the question right here says the table shows the number of hot dogs and drinks Mr. Allen sold at his vending cart on 5 days last week. So we find that on Monday, he sold 10, 12, 10, here, this is 5, 10, 11, 12 hot dogs, and he sold 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 drinks. So 12 hot dogs and 14 drinks. On Tuesday, it was 10 hot dogs and 13 drinks. On Wednesday, he sold 12 hot dogs and 12 drinks. Thursday, he sold 13 hot dogs and 14 drinks. And Friday, he sold 15 hot dogs and 15 drinks. Now, Mr. Allen sold 15 hot dogs on Friday for $3 each, and he sold 15 drinks on Friday for $2 each. On Friday, Mr. Allen made $75 total. Now, down here, it does tell us that the hot dogs are $3 and the drinks are for $2. And so it wants to know how much more money did Mr. Allen earn on Friday than Tuesday. So we need to find out how much he made on Friday and how much he made on Tuesday. And that's what we are working out right here in this area. So on Friday, Mr. Allen made 75 total. Now, how did we get 75 total? Is that we tallied up 15 times 3 and then 15 times 2, and we added those two numbers to get 75. Now on Tuesday, Mr. Allen sold 10 hot dogs. So right here, 10 times 3 and 13 drinks for $2. So 13 times 2. So then we add up those two totals, and on Tuesday, Mr. Allen made a total of $56. We want to know how much more money Mr. Allen made, so we need to subtract the two totals. So 75 minus 56 equals to 19. So he made $19 more on Friday than he did on Tuesday. So our answer would be H, 19. Now over here, it says, Angelina made the table below to record the number of times she completed different chores last month. So if you look at your frequency table, how many times did she clean her room? Well, she cleaned it 5, 10, 14 times she cleaned her room. How many times did she wash the dishes? 5, 10, 15, 20 times. And how many times did she sweep the floor? So 5, 10, 11 times. And how many times did she dust the furniture? She dusted it 4 times. Each time Angelina cleaned her room, it took her 12 minutes. What is the total number of minutes she cleaned her room last month? So at this point, what we need to do is look at just how many times she cleaned her room. Well, we know that she cleaned it 5, 10, 14 times. So if she cleaned it 14 times and it took her 12 minutes each time, then we are going to multiply 12 minutes times 14 times. So 12 times 14. Now I want you to go ahead and solve that. You will take this little dot and put it over the answer choice that you have gotten. I'll give you a minute to pause this video and go ahead and do that. Our next topic is dot plots. So dot plots are a way to display data along a number line. Pay attention to the key or problem to know what one dot represents. So what I'm looking at right here this is an example of a dot plot. So right here it tells us minutes to eat breakfast. So it's taking 0 minutes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for 6 people to eat breakfast. So I guess they might be scarfing stuff down. It takes 2 people 1 minute to eat breakfast, 3 people to eat breakfast in 2 minutes, and so forth. And, one person, it took 12 minutes to eat breakfast. Now, a lot of times the keys will tell us what one dot represents, so that is going to be important to look at. But these are examples of what a dot plot would look like. Now, over here, it says in the problem to the left, we can see that it tells us that each person or each circle represents 2 members. Now let's read this question. These dot plots show the number of minutes that the members of a jogging club take to jog 1 mile. Each circle, as you can see, represents 2 members. So the question is, how many members of the club take 11 or more minutes to jog 1 mile? So when I'm looking at my dot plot, I'm looking at if this circle represents 2 people, that means 2 members took 7 minutes. Right here, it's telling me because there's 2 circles and each circle is 2 people, so that means that 4 people, 4 members, took 8 minutes. Over here, there's 4 circles and each is 2, which means 8 members took 9 minutes. And right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means 12 members took 10 minutes. Now, if you notice over here, we have half a circle. So if a whole circle is 2 people, then half a circle would mean 1 person. So right here, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, plus 1 is 9. So 9 members took 11 minutes. Now over here, you've got 2, 4, 5 people took 12 minutes. 2 members took 13 minutes. And 1 member took 14 minutes. Now the question says, how many of the members of the club take 11 or more minutes to jog 1 mile? Now, what you're going to have to pay attention is to the wording. So we are going to include 11 in all of this and everything over because it's wanting to know 11 or more. So we know that this is 2, 4, 6, 8. This is 9 members plus 5 members, which is 14. Plus 2 more, which is 16, plus 1 more, which is 17 members. So over here it says, since there is half a circle, that means that it represents 1 member. In order to solve this problem, we need to count by 2s and then count our half circles. Our answer is G. It took 17 members 11 minutes or longer to jog 1 mile. On the problem to the right, we have different dot plots and we have to choose the right one. Start with the smallest shoe size and continue checking off the correct charts. Use the circle Oh, I can't see that. Oh, I moved that again. Use the circle to circle the correct answer choice. Okay, so right here it says the list shows the shoe sizes of 10 students. Now, some of the best things to do is make sure that you are looking at all the data. All of this data needs to be represented on a dot plot. Now, I see that I've got 1, 8. So when I go to my dot plot, I should only have 1 dot under 8 and 1 dot for 7. Now, let me see, how many dots should I have for 9? I should have 2 dots for 9. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 dots for 8.5. Oh, look, I should have 2 dots for 8. So 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to go to my dot plots and I'm going to look at all of these answer choices. So I've got 1 for 7, which I should have 1 for 7. Should I have any 7.5s? Yes. In fact, how many 8s should I have? I should have 1, 2 8s. Ooh, look, they've got 4 here when only 2 people had 8. So I can eliminate this answer choice right here because we've got 4 people when there should only be 2. Now let's go to this next one over here. So we've got 1 for 7, 1 for 7.5, 2 for 8, 4 for 8.5, and we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 for 8.5. Now I have a 9 here and a 9 here. How many dots should I have for 9? Well, I should have 2, but this one only has 1. Now I look at this one over here and I just realized I should have 2 dots for 9 And this one still only has 1, so I know that this is a wrong choice also. Now let's look at this last one just to check them off. Now normally with pen and paper, you would check these off as you are marking them. So I have 1 for 7, which is right here, Sonia. 1 for 7.5, which is Amelia. I have 2 for 8, so I've got 1, 2 for 8, correct. I've got 4 for 8.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is also correct. I have 2 9s, 1, 2 for Caleb and Katie, and none for 9.5. So my answer choice would be J. Okay, so this kind of just goes back to some of the things we were talking about. The frequency table shows data organized by the category and the number in each category. This frequency table shows the data for the distance students jumped in a forward jump contest. So right here, it tells us that 2 students jumped 3 3/4 feet. 3 students jumped 4 feet. 4 students jumped 4 1/4. 3 students jumped 4.5, and and 1 student jumped 4 3/4 feet. So they've represented this data right here on this data table over here, and they've plotted it out. Now, this is what you are going to try. You are going to use this data plot to answer this question. Now, just remember right here, these represent the students right here. So if I want to know the total number of students that did this, I would need to add up all of these right here. You will go ahead and try this next section, this part right here, on your own. I will give you a few minutes to go ahead and pause. Our next topic is a stem and leaf plot. Stem and leaf plots organize and display data using numerical order and place value. The stem, which is this part right here, are the numbers in the left column represented by the greatest place value for a set of data. What does that mean? Well, if this is a 1 right now, you need to look at the key. This tells us what it represents. This represents our tens place, and these numbers will represent our ones place. The leaf numbers in the right column represent the data place value for a set of data. So the way that we are going to be reading this is cover these numbers right here up for the meantime. So this tells us that this is points scored. So if this is the tens place right here, because there's only one number. Now, if there was 2 numbers, it might be the hundreds. We'll go into that in a bit. But this is going to represent the tens place, which means this is the ones place. So that means one person scored 12 points. It also means that one person scored 1 and 5 is 15. So this is one person scored 15 points, one person scored 18 points, and one person scored 19 points. Now over here, this is telling us that one person scored 20, one scored 24, one scored 27. Over here, one person scored 30 points, one person scored 34 points. Now look, we've got 2 6s, which means 2 people scored 36. So 36 and 36. And then one person scored 38. And this last one is 43 and 45. Now, if I want to know the total number of people, all I need to do is count my leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people played this and scored points. In this next one over here, you've got birthday cards sold each day. So on one day, there was 21 cards. The following day, there was 25 cards, 26 cards, 27, 28, and there's 2 nines, which tells me on 2 days, they sold 29 cards. On another day, they sold 30 and 33. On 2 days, because there's 2 twos, they sold 42 cards. So on 2 days, there was 42 cards that were sold. On another day, there was 43. On another one, 44. And on another one, 49. Now, if I want to know how many numbers of days that they recorded this data for, again, I would count my leaves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days is what they did to are the days that they took data on. Now, this is a really good video. I've taken this from the newsletter, and I've put it in here because this is really good for you to watch to help you learn more about stem and leaf plots. Okay, in the key on the left, it shows us that the stem on the tens place and the leaves are on the ones place. So the key will help us tell us what it stands for. So 1, and then this little slash is this slash right here, tells us 1/5 is 15. For this problem, you will need to add all of the numbers together. So 15 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 25 plus 30 equals to 130. So right here, the stem and leaf plot shows the number of minutes of television that 7 students watched last night. Now, I know there's 7 students because if I count my leaves, there should be 7 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess 1 student didn't watch any TV. 2 students watched for 15 minutes. So 50, which is 15 right here, and 15 right here. So 2 students watched for 15 minutes. 1 student watched for 20 minutes, and 2 students watched for 25. So 25 and 25, and 1 student watched for 30 minutes. So now the question is, how many students of television did the 7 students watch last night all together? So which means we're going to have to add them all up. Now, we could put the 0 on here, but it's not going to make a difference. So we're going to add up 15 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 25 plus 30, which equals to 130, and our answer would be J. All right, we're going to use a circle to answer the following, which means you're just going to drag this over to the correct answer. The table shows the number of minutes that 6 students and 4 teachers exercised yesterday. So here are your students. You've got Molly, Nathan, Denzel, Shao, Delma, and Galena. And then you've got your teachers, Ms. Zhao, Ms. Garza, Ms. Moore, and Ms. Harris. And it tells you the total number of minutes. And we want to see which one of these tables it represents. Now, you are going to look at this. Now, what you're going to want to do is get a paper and a pencil, and you're going to want to organize these numbers. Now, I should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have 10 numbers. What you're going to want to do is make sure that you write all 10 numbers out and then order them. So basically from your lowest number to your highest number. Now from right here, I can see that my lowest number would be 20, and I only have 120, which means that one of my numbers should be 20. Well, I've got 20 here, I've got 20 here, I've got a 20 here, but look, I don't have a 20 right here. In fact, it starts with 24. I can tell you right away that this is not the right answer. I have 120 and 124. So 120 and 124. Now, do I have any of the numbers in their 20s? I do not. So far, F, H, and G look good. Now, the next numbers we have are 30. So I should have 130 and a 35 and a 37. So let's look at 30, 35, and 37. So I've got 30, 35, and 37. Well, it looks like this one is good so far too. And 30, 35. Ooh, but look, I've got 39. Now, there was not a 39 in this data. There's a 59, but not a 39. So this is not correct right here. So we've at least eliminated our answers to F and H. Okay, now let's look at the next data. Since we did 30, 35, and 37, now we're going to look at our 40s. Now, do we have any numbers in our 40s? It does not look like we have any numbers in our 40s. Now, looking at this tells me 40. Now, we didn't have anything with 40. So this should not be here. In fact, it should be blank. And this stem, this leaf right here, this leaf should not be here. So this tells me that this is also incorrect. Now this is blank, which means that there was no data for 40 if there is no leaf. Because if it was 40, it would be 0 here. But there should not be anything since we have nothing with a 40. Now the next one we should have is 52. We have a 52, we have a 55, and we have a 59. So this is still correct. Now let's see, do we have a 60 and a 65? So we have a 60 and a 65, which means our answer would be H. This is the frequency table that shows this data, and all they've done is moved it over here. So as you see, this time we've got 2 numbers on our stem. Now, make sure you are looking at your key because your key right here will tell you what it represents. So 13 with a slash and a 5 equals to 135. So right here, this is going to be our tens place and our hundreds. So we're going to find that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 135. So this represents the number of pages and the frequency that it happens. So 4 books have 135 pages. Right here, this tells me that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books that have 144 pages and 2 books that have 148 pages. Okay, so our question is, how many books have fewer than 150 pages? Now, here's a good question is, are we going to include 150? No, the answer is no, because it's asking how many books have fewer than 150 pages. So we are going to need to count how many books are all over here. We will not include 150 or over here. So none of this right here would be included. Only these 2 rows, because it is wanting to know how many books have fewer than 150 pages. Okay, boys and girls, I hope that you guys go back to some of the videos on the newsletter to help you all understand it a little better, or go back and review this.